Well, the first time I put on the suit, I was 3 years old, and I was. It was a very pure experience, and I climbed the tallest building in the living room of my parents' house, which was the couch, and I think I banged my head on the floor, and it was a wonderful day. And my brother was Superman, and it was a fantastic, fun day. When you put on the actual suit, it's not as purely fun, because suddenly you know that you feel a greater sense of responsibility when you're stepping into the symbol that is so important and meaningful for so many people. That I'm aware of it. I have empathy for that because I'm a fan first, and I know how I feel about the suit and that symbol. So it was equally exciting as it was daunting. But what a wonderful, lucky experience for a Spider-Man fan to have. So I'm thankful for it, very thankful for it.
Marc and Avi and Matt and Sony and all of us wanted to make this particular Spider-Man, wanted to ground him in a very real and familiar and tangible, emotional world. Something that we could all connect with. And from my part, Dr. Connors isn't some masked stranger who enters onto the scene. He's very much a compassionate, thoughtful, intelligent human being who wants to heal himself and then consequently, mankind in general. And so I think that what makes this difference is that we're exploring something very real that everyone can connect with. So then eventually when Peter Parker is touched by the magic of Spider-Man, we all not only feel wonder and excitement, but we're also moved by his flight, moved to tears by his conquering of the obstacles that the teenage world puts in front of him.
Thanks, Rhys. Let's hear from you, Emma.
In terms of, I won't repeat that beautiful answer, even though I want to. Gwen Stacy's story brings a different element to this version as well. She was Peter Parker's first love in the comic books and came before Mary Jane. And her story is, I think, inarguably one of the most epic, tragic, incredible stories in not only Spider-Man history, but in the Marvel Universe's history. And that is a really exciting new element to this movie, coupled with the fact that this movie is in 3D, which doesn't sorry, I took your answer. Which doesn't feel gimmicky whatsoever in this movie. It feels like Spider-Man and 3D were made for each other, and just seeing him swing out of the screen in that way, and seeing New York City in incredible 3D just is so exhilarating. And so those are two very new, amazing elements to this one.
Gosh, I think everything that's been said is true, and also the idea that he's a teenager is incredibly important and an idea worth highlighting. And I think that was what our intention was with this, and the fact that he's a teenage superhero, and that occasionally he's going to need to let loose and kind of smash a window or do something mischievous and rebellious, and not just be your goody two-shoes superhero. It's a very important element that he's gonna, when he first gets his powers, what would we all do? And to go kind of access that fantasy is incredibly exciting, and to explore that in a new way, what with the skateboarding or with the nuisance that he causes to his first real mark, that car thief, and the playfulness that he can access with that anonymity was worth exploring, and we will continue exploring.
Yeah, I think they covered it all. I think the 3D I think is a really important part of the storytelling. It's how you realize the character, and I wanted to create for the audience in an immersive theatrical environment a physiological sensation of flight. And I mean, like Emma said, they're born for each other, Spider-Man and 3D. And I think that 3D there's some controversy. There was a moment where everybody loved it, and then there's a moment where everybody hated it. And I think what I learned anyway is that there is a very organic purpose to it in film, and it's a great tool to use for storytelling. And the spectacle and the fights and the battles and the flying through the air is really fun and really exciting, and it was one of the things that I was most excited about doing. But I think what makes it amazing, really, to me, is there was this scene we did in the hallway where Andrew and Emma were playing, Peter and Gwen, and there was this incredibly sweet, incredibly awkward, tiny little scene that is probably my favorite scene in the movie, where he's kind of asking her out for the first time, and it was just detail piled upon minute detail and little intimate behaviors that I thought was so fun to put in a movie that was massive and big, and all that fighting and all that action relied very heavily on two very real, very natural characters and the actors that embodied them, and I think it made it kind of special and kind of different than what we've seen before.
Yes, 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 yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes.
Yes, of course. We do what the star tells us to do. I can never tell. Right now we have so many stories.
Yeah.
As you can see, that this new Spider-Man opens so many avenues for us. By the time we are done with that, who knows? Maybe, if the story is right, why not? It's very common in the comics, as you know. So, but for now, I think we're busy.
Yeah, there's very the people at Marvel and well, Avi was really our emissary. They were great, really wonderful collaborators and protectors of the story. There's iconic elements that Marvel was really protective of. Of course, the spider bite and Uncle Ben and certain elements that were important to honor in the canon. But within that, there was so many opportunities for exploring themes and ideas, and I felt it was very important to build a new context for those iconic elements, so that there was something new for the audience. And we're building a new mythology, and Marvel is keenly aware of the value of reinventing and these iconic characters to tell new stories and explore new themes. So it was pretty cool. And I'd say it is a form, the Marvel film, in a way. It's like a sonnet, but there's a lot of ways to write a sonnet, and there's a lot of different ways to explore that form. And I felt really, in a very real way, more free in this process than I've ever felt in a really long time. It was kind of a strange and exhilarating feeling.
Lovely, the sonnet. Thank you so much. We're out of time. A pleasure. Muchas gracias. Ha sido un placer.
Gracias. Suerte a la roja.
In your fire.